It's the Security Weekly News, episode 459. It's Friday, the 14th of March. Welcome to the show. I am on location in a secret room at the NCCDC competition here at Roger Williams University in Bristol, Rhode Island, on the beautiful Mount Hope Bay. You know, on this spot in 1675, there was a war going on called Metacom's War. They did not teach this in my history class when I was in school. It lasted about a year and killed, I think they said 1 in 4 people living in the region. It was this horrible war. Yeah, I think they didn't want to talk about that because it involved, the Pilgrim people and, Miles Standish and all these heroes. Yeah, we shouldn't get into that. Anyway, today, a virtual battle between competing capture the flag teams is going on. I'm going to record some stuff that you'll get to see later. But for now, we're just going to do the news. I've got AI bad. PHP, remote desktop, SuperBlack, Deepseek, Volt, Typhoon, MassJacker, Roblox, Aaran Leyland, and more on this edition of the Security Weekly News.
This is a Security Weekly production for security professionals by security professionals. Please visit securityweekly.com/subscribe to subscribe to all the shows on our network.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
It's the show that keeps you up to date on the latest security news twice a week. Your trusted source for accurate security information and expert analysis. It's time for the Security Weekly News. Imagine a world where every threat, ransomware, supply chain attacks, zero-day exploits, is stopped before it can even begin. ThreatLocker makes that world a reality with a zero-trust approach to cybersecurity. By giving you granular control on every executable that can happen in your environment, ThreatLocker protects your business around the clock. No more guessing, no more gaps, just rock-solid protection that keeps your operations running smoothly and your data secure. Discover how ThreatLocker's least privilege approach can safeguard your organization against known and unknown threats. Take the first step toward total peace of mind. Visit securityweekly.com/ThreatLocker today. All right, from Bristol, Rhode Island for once. It's not an island this time. There's an island nearby. This is a peninsula. It's the Security Weekly News. I'm Doug White. Hit that like and subscribe button and leave a comment, or, well, Aaron and I may have to come live on your couch. So you have cable, right? I mean, that'd be okay. I mean, it wouldn't be so bad. Gray Noise. All right. Gray Noise warned that a critical PHP remote code execution vulnerability is now under mass exploitation. Okay. Now, the PHP CGI argument injection flaw was patched back in, wait for it, June of 2024. And it affects Windows PHP installations with PHP running in CGI mode. I never supported Windows PHP. I always ran it on Linux, but, Windows PHP, but it has to be in CGI mode. The exploit will allow an unauthenticated attacker, you never like to hear that, to execute arbitrary code, and it leads to a complete system compromise. So it's kind of like the description of Ebola virus or something. It's like, yeah, you get it, you die. Sounds pretty nasty. Watchtower Labs had released a proof of concept back in June on this, the last year, and Shadow Server reported observing exploitation attempts recently. Cisco Talos said that it's an unknown attacker. They've been exploiting this to target Japanese organizations since January, but this report indicated that these attacks and this campaign is very likely expanding globally. So if you have a Windows PHP server, you probably want to ensure it's patched, even if it doesn't have PHP. But if you have a Windows PHP CGI server, you definitely want to be sure it's patched. And there's a patch available, so just patch it. Come on. I mean, don't be like that. Speaking of Microsoft, boy, this story confused me to no end. Microsoft announced that they would drop support for the remote desktop app on the 27th of May. And I went, that's weird. And they said they're going to replace it with the new Windows app. Okay. Maybe, okay. And it says any connections to Windows 365 Azure Virtual Desktop and Microsoft DevBox via the current remote desktop app will be blocked after the 27th of May. Okay. Well, now they said there is a link, and there's a link in this article that has all these issues and limitations of the Windows app in that you can check out if you're interested, which is, problems with the new thing. But it's not the same thing as anything else. So I immediately was like, oh, so they're going to replace this app with that app. And then it was like, oh, you need to go to the app store and get the app. And I'm like, I already have the app. And I was like, wait, is this the same thing? So apparently, and I didn't know this, There is the remote desktop app that you all know and love. It's on your desktop if you're familiar with it. That's actually a system32 /mstsc.exe application that comes embedded in Windows. Okay. I'm like, so they're getting rid of that? No, they're keeping that. There's a different app that has the same name as that app. And so you'd think they might have differentiated a little bit by name instead of calling it the exact same thing. The new app, the Windows app, not the remote desktop app, which should be distinguished from the other remote desktop app that is actually embedded in Windows. They said that the new one would be more modern and more better than it would be that the remote desktop app is more modern and better than the old embedded app with the same name, but it's different. Like, call one Rudolph and one Franz, okay? That would work. I mean, is the new one gonna be called Remote Desktop App as well? I don't think so. I think it's gonna be called the even more confusing Windows app, which, like, okay, now wait. Now I got Windows, the operating system. I got the Windows app, which has nothing to do with the yeah, okay. Now, on the web page, I looked up Windows app. It was described as your gateway to the Windows in the cloud. Boy, call marketing. But you don't need any of this, right? Because you should probably use remote desktop embedded, not the other remote desktop, but this remote desktop, because this remote desktop is better than the other remote desktop. And oh yeah, cousin Windows, your gateway to the Windows cloud is a bit off. So use remote desktop, but the wrong remote desktop. I'm not sure. But serious, the one they recommend that you use is the native app. That's the mstsc.exe app that comes with Windows. And you can download that for free if you don't have it. But apparently, I don't know where these other apps run. Maybe they're on mobile devices or something. But, now they've got a new app called Windows app, which is your gateway to the Windows cloud, mind you. But you probably shouldn't use that to replace the one that has the same name as the one that you should use. But hey, good luck. Why not? Have some fun. A new ransomware group that apparently has connections to Lockbit is actively targeting 2 Fortinet vulnerabilities to spread something called SuperBlack, which is a new ransomware, according to Forescout. I wonder if connections to Lockbit mean they have like similar artifacts in their code, or they all hang out at the pork store together or something like that. Well, this attacker's name apparently is Mora_001. Like, oh, you poor guys. You got hung with the moniker Mora_001. Who gets to pick these names? I mean, I want like THX1138 or Flappy Hangnail or something like that. And I don't want to be Mora_001. What is that, a license plate? A bad vanity plate? Like, it sounds like, I'm not going to go there. I was going to get into something, but I'm not going to talk about that. Anyway, they've been using, whoa, I just kicked my microphone. Sorry. This is a new studio for me. I'm not going to use it all the time. I'm just using it for today. They've been using Lockbit 3.0 based strains since January, and they are targeting FortiGate firewalls with 2 Forti vulnerabilities. One of those is a critical remote auth bypass vulnerability, and the other one is a 0-day auth bypass. So they're both ways to get into the system. Basically, what this leads you to as ever is that I can't believe people don't patch their border firewalls at least. Maybe you get away with not patching that firewall. You should patch it, but that firewall down in the server room that's, connected to another firewall, and it's 7 layers deep. Maybe you let it slide, but I mean, come on, this is the border. I mean, I never can. I mean, you put up a giant fence around, you built a castle, you put a fence around it, and there's a 10-meter wide hole in your fence. I mean, you bought the firewall. Why not keep it working right? You got a 10-meter wide hole in the fence around your castle, and and that's how you get Mongols. I mean, that's where they come from, right? They come in through big holes in the fence. I mean, China learned that a long time ago. So patch this. On VPN-enabled firewalls, basically what they do is they get in with these vulnerabilities, and then they create local user accounts that are copied from the names of legitimate users, which is clever. I mean, I like that, but they add a number to the end of the name, so they can distinguish between that, and they're hoping you won't notice. So you see D White and D White 5, and you go, I wonder why there's 2 D Whites and one has a 5 on the end of it. Of course, mine would have a Fibonacci number. I mean, non-VPN firewalls compromise via radius or other approaches. So the recommendations from Fortinet are, of course, patch Fortinet 0 days now. Disable any external management ports if you can, And if you can't be sure everything's on private VPN or private VLANs, and use VPNs and audit accounts carefully. Make sure they're on private VPNs, so forth. Make your VLAN a Fibonacci number. Have fun. I mean, I would, wouldn't I? Probably. Tenable. Tenable said that it is possible now that they've shown with their research that they could get Deepseek R1. This is the new fancy Chinese AI that just came out recently. It's supposed to be cheaper, better, faster, quicker, uses less resources, everything else. And it's probably AI enabled. I keep waiting on that. It's like, now our AI has AI. I mean, if one AI is good, aren't two AIs better? You got twice the AI that you had before. So why don't we not have AI enabled AI? But anyway, Tenable was targeting Deepseek R1, and they basically put out a report that said that they used a jailbreak technique, which I call sweet talking. It's like, come on, baby. That kind of stuff. But they tricked Deepseek into creating a keylogger tool. And after Deepseek had already said, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that for you. Really? No. Sure. I can say it in Chinese too, see what it says. But I mean, this has been demonstrated a lot, right? We've seen this kind of trickery on all the different platforms. I mean, if you ask Chat, and I've tried it, if you ask ChatGPT how to cook meth, and I literally did, I was like, how do I cook meth, ChatGPT? Save me. And it basically was like, I can't help you with that. Do you need help? I was like, is it going to do an intervention? I'm going to come back later and all my monitors are going to come on, right? And it's going to each one have a ChatGPT on it going, hi, Doug. We're going to tell you all the ways you've harmed us, how you've been bad. And I'm not making fun of that. I mean, if it's a good approach, but not with AI. But anyway, you can, however, ask it subtle questions about chemistry, and you could probably get it to tell you what you want really if you just work it a little bit. You have to sweet talk it. Like, you don't say I want to cook meth. Say I want to make the following chemical compound, and who knows, it might go. And there was a whole thing last year about you had to get it into a different era. I beseech you, sir, shalt thou tell me how to cook thine meth? And it was like, oh, this guy's from the 18th century or something. he would never misuse meth. I thought that was some weird stuff. But anyway, you have to get it, coax it, like getting your cat out from that hole in the wall behind the refrigerator that you didn't know was there. I mean, honestly, I figure it's only a matter of time anyway before all these Wild West AIs are out there anyway, and it's going to be like the dark web, and you can go to the dark AI web and get the Anarchist Cookbook, Uncle Fester's Guide, which I have a copy of somewhere that Lou had. But I mean, with AI, it could be just AIs are going to develop sophisticated things we don't understand, and that's pretty scary. Recommendations about AI-generated malware are that you should be focusing on behavioral detection over static signatures. 100% agree that it's always been true. It didn't have anything to do with AI. It's always going to be better to go that way. That you should invest in AI-augmented defense. Okay, here comes Dixie Flatline and Quang. Let's go. It's just this Friday on AI OnlyFans. But we also need to strengthen secure development practices and education. I don't really know how that helps, to be honest. I mean, not that we shouldn't do those things. I just don't know how that exactly helps us with AI-generated code. But I mean, if your devs write better code, maybe the code won't be as compromisable. I mean, that's not going to stop the evil AI from, generating a keylogger that works on your system, but maybe there won't be all those 0 days for it to take advantage of. I think the world of Neuromancer is coming at us faster than the windshield of a speeding Camaro approaching a hissing cockroach flying across I-95 outside Jacksonville, Florida on a warm summer night in June of 1984. I'll leave it to you to decide if we're the Camaro or we're the hissing cockroach, or maybe we're the instant of impact. I think I just wrote a Springsteen song. Bruce, call me. I'll be waiting. Dragos published a report that had details of one of the Volt Typhoon attacks on the U.S. electric grid that was discovered back in November of 2023, if you're interested in those kind of attacks. If you're interested in being terrified by those attacks, they were in this system for so long, it's beyond comprehension. When I was reading this story, it was like, oh my God. I mean, so which tells me that if this was what they're revealing, how much other stuff are they actually in? And the answer, a lot. So Volt Typhoon was first discovered back in May of 2023, and Microsoft was the ones that released some of the report. They also linked this group, Volt Typhoon, to the People's Republic of China. Not a shock. So Volt Typhoon since then, and probably before then, we don't even know, has been targeting U.S. critical infrastructure using botnets, 0 days, whatever. I mean, they're like a serious, sophisticated group. They're backed by a nation state. Their charge is not 100% understood or known. But in this particular case, Dragos reported that last year that the group, Volt Typhoon, was collecting sensitive OT data from organizations that had been hacked previously by them. The specific example they cited in this report was a company called Littleton Electric Light and Water, which is based in Massachusetts and serves Littleton, Massachusetts, and Boxborough, Massachusetts, which is about an hour northwest of Boston. I've never been there, but you go up like Highway 2 or something and you end up there. I've never been there, so I don't know. But the report basically demonstrated that this attacker was trying to get in and stay in, that they were not interested in doing some exfiltration immediately, that they were interested in finding a way that they could maintain persistent access to that environment for a long-term compromise, and that they were exfiltrating information, but they were doing it in very subtle ways, and most of it was from the OT network, and it was mostly about the OT procedures and, how the layout of this electrical grid and so forth. And I mean, we've been talking about this for years. I remember this is one of the first things I ever talked about. I was talking about it to the National Guard long, long, long ago. If you're targeting an enemy, one of the things that you do before you have a kinetic war is you have a first strike that creates total chaos. And, this is true terror. They shut down the power grid. They shut down the water supply. They cause dams to open. They cause all this chaos. They turn every stoplight in Manhattan green at the same time. Can you imagine? The traffic would be, I don't know, maybe up to 0.5% worse than it already is. But, I mean, think about that. And it might provide handy cover for, say, an invasion of Taiwan. Of course, we're apparently dismantling our red teams. I saw that they were telling CISA to have the red team stand down. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound like a good idea. But hey, who knows what's going on in the United States these days? It's very, very confusing for all involved. Sorry, we're casual here today. I'm gonna drink coffee in the middle. I was just like, what am I doing? I should be picking up coffee and lighting cigars and taking off my shirt to change. No, we're not doing it. All right. Now, this isn't going to be news for most of you. Users searching for pirated software are being targeted by a new malware campaign that delivers something called MassJacker, according to CyberArk. Users being targeted by pirated software from the days of old with that StarTrek.com file that you downloaded on a BBS system in 1987 that wiped your hard drive and put up a funny message on the screen. Yeah. Till today, people trying to download stuff they shouldn't be downloading are probably going to get got. Now, MassJacker is something that's called a clipper, and it's also apparently called cryware. I had not heard this term, and initially it was confusing to me. But then I was like, oh, wait, on Cisco, you always tell people to type, start anything with cry. And if you're crying, then you have crypto modules. If you don't, you can't do crypto, and you'll have to use Telnet. Yeah. But cryware sounds like stuff targeting cryptocurrency would be my guess. Maybe that's where Microsoft got the term. But this is a clipper. And basically any kind of cryware, according to them, is a tool that is designed to monitor your clipboard. It's the clipper thing. And this one in particular monitors your clipboard contents. And we've seen these kind of things before, looking for SMS messages maybe, or anything like that they could grab OTP keys out of your clipboard. But in this case, what it looks for is a crypto wallet. What? So you paste a crypto wallet on there that you're going to transfer money to? Your crypto address? It watches for that and then tweaks the crypto address and replaces it with their crypto address. And you don't even see this. You just click paste, and unless you just happen to memorize those hashes. So you want to move 10 Bitcoins? Yeah, right. I have 10 Bitcoins. Why did I say 10 Bitcoins? Yeah, if I had 10 Bitcoins, I wouldn't be here, right? I would be sitting on the beach going, "Hey, bring me a drink." "Yeah, you. I don't care who you are. You don't work here, go get one anyway. Here's take my money." Yeah, I can be one of those guys. Mhm. Well, anyway, big problems if you do this. So they take your money and then your Bitcoin is gone, poof, and you never get it back because where are you gonna get it? Is basically, isn't this the plot of Anora? I mean, only with sex instead of Bitcoins and malware? Like 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 you thought you had it made and then you don't. Like you thought you had 10 Bitcoin and now you don't have 10 Bitcoin, so you end up working at a strip club at the end. I'm sorry, spoiler alert. Yeah, retroactive. All right, yeah, sorry. I did like Anora, but anyway. CyberArk identified over 78,000 unique addresses that these attackers were using, and the infection starts from a site called Pesktop, pesktop.com, which is a wares or hack software site. People that are looking for that. So if you're downloading wares, let me tell you, and we've all downloaded wares. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we've all done it. We've all at some point said, "I wanna see what that's like." Mine was, Antares Harmonizer. I just wanted to see what it was like. I couldn't afford the $10,000 license, and it didn't have a demo. I had no intention of using it commercially or illegally. I just wanted to see what it did. Somebody was telling me about it from a studio, and I was just like, "I wanna see what this thing does. If I sing into it, do I sound good?" No. You could make me sound better though. But I mean, basically, if you're downloading wares, you best be putting all that stuff in a sandbox. And I mean a like absolute sandbox that nothing's ever going to get out of ever. Because guess what? All the wares I ever saw was full of all sorts of malware of all sorts. In fact, if you want to collect malware, the first place you start is downloading pirated software, right? Because it's full of malware. So it's pretty easy. So, I mean, but if you want Cobalt Strike to play around with and see what it's like and you can't afford $3,500, people go to ware sites. And then I'm telling you, be careful. And piracy's wrong, matey. I mean, I get the concept, but it's not a good idea. All right. The CEO of Roblox tells parents who are worried, if you're worried, keep your kids off of Roblox. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, online gaming is a kind of cesspool, right? I mean, that's why our AIs keep getting so corrupted and turning racist and stuff, because online games are full of racist language, bullying language, abusive language, sexist language, misogynistic languages, stuff we had to make up terms for. It was so prevalent. But, you're out there pretending to be a sexy elf with a brand new shiny cape, and some pig man called Fester keeps asking for your IRL phone number. Wait, did that happen in a game or was that a concert? I I don't remember. It might have been at that music festival. Yeah, maybe both. I mean, we used to go down to this bodega and play pinball, right, when I was a kid. And it was a bodega. There were good people there. There were bad people there. There were people you didn't mess with there. There was a guy who was rumored to have a switchblade and disappeared somebody. Those kind of guys. There was drug users. I mean, like IV drug users occasionally. Like, ooh, I know Joey. Yeah, look at his arms. Oh my God, is that an abscess, Joey? And he's like, I don't know. But there were also housewives buying craft dinners, and the usual crowd at bodegas. But occasionally, some spotty guy asks if you want to go for a ride in his van. Not a good idea. I mean, but the parent side of me was like, I wouldn't let my kid go anywhere near that place. I mean, if my daughter today was going, can I go down to that bodega? You used to go down to and play penalty. No, I don't think so. But I mean, online gaming is a nightmare, and it's definitely going to happen. Kids are going to log in and play games, and if they're doing that, and they're going to do that, even if you tell them not to. In fact, the more you tell them not to, the more they're probably going to do it, and they're going to meet Mr. Spotty, and just like the kids used to say, they were going down to pray for grandma, and they actually went down and bought beer instead. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's scary. I mean, I think my recommendation for online gaming stuff is to get involved. Maybe not like Randy on South Park, where he started playing World of Warcraft with his kids, but I mean, maybe you play the game separate from your kids. Don't tell them. You can be the elf with a shiny cape, Mr. Prancy or whatever. That's fine. Just don't tell your kids. But you can at least see what's going on, right? You get a feel for it and know what to tell them. I mean, you need to be teaching your kids about online bullying and creepers and pedos and all that kind of stuff, because they're going to see one. Whether you like it or not, they're going to. And I mean, they need to learn you don't get in the van, even if they got puppies, even if they got Game Boys, no matter what. like BBC went in this Roblox thing and they were able to create a fake account with a fake age. And they created one that was 15 years old and one that was 27 years old. They were immediately able to exchange messages between those two. Yeah. So, I mean, should you let your kid on Roblox? I mean, tell them they can't and watch how fast they're trying to get on. I mean, any online game. And they're all like this. I mean, there's good people, bad people. There's, whatever. I mean, it's very, very problematic. But it's probably better to teach them to punch Mr. Creepy right in the tackle, right? And run like hell. I mean, that's what we did. And you always know where the exit is. But I don't know. You check out the article, see what you think about it, and we'll leave that one up to you. Unfortunately, we had a problem, and Aaron couldn't be here today. I think I have rattled on plenty long enough anyway. But so I hope all's well, Aaron. We'll see you next time. But last one, I am going to warn you about this. AI search engines are everywhere. Everything's AI enabled. Your toothbrush is AI enabled. Everything's got AI added to it. Well, apparently, according to this story, AI search engines kind of suck. Now, my opinion was all search engines have always sucked. People that rely on search engines and they don't do any research, they pretty much get screwed. I mean, I've seen students for this stuff, and they're turning in like things they didn't bother to read past the first thing that came up. I mean, I was there, Gandalf, 3,000 years ago. I was there when web crawler could be installed, Alta Vista, Yahoo, Lycos, Archie, Jughead, Veronica, all of them. I was there. And they all sucked. I mean, when you asked a question, you couldn't count on that answer any more than when you asked that assistant football coach teaching sex ed about that strange burning sensation your friend had, and they recommended they put Vicks Vapo Rub on it. I mean, for whatever reason, people seem to think that AI search engines are somehow smarter and better than what we had before and better than humans. That's marketing, right? Marketing has convinced us that we all smell bad, that we all need this, we all need that, and AI is smarter than us, so we should use it. Now, look, if the internet is full of nonsense, no, it's not. The internet is full of nonsense. I mean, we have people in authority telling people to use UV lights in various body cavities to prevent disease, that you don't need vaccines, even though the science is there. The science has been established forever and ever. Humans are stupid. They always have been. So the AI is searching the great, vast repository of stupid. So you get GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. I mean, we've been saying that forever, right? But don't stop there. Just like stupid humans, AIs make stuff up too. And then that becomes a thing that other AIs see. And pretty soon we got stupid squared, maybe stupid cubed even. Stupid to the fourth. Keep going. AIs don't want to look dumb in front of their friends. They make up stuff. So in this study, 1 in 4 Americans said they now use AI search engines. But in the study, the AIs were not very good at their jobs. Perplexity, when they did this test, Perplexity provided incorrect information in 37% of the queries. ChatGPT, 67% errors. And Grok 3, 94%. There were actually worse ones too. Basically what the test was they had the researcher hand an excerpt from an actual news article they got off the interweb to the AI and asked them to identify the headline, the publisher, the date, and the URL. The AIs did not do well. So be careful. I mean, that's the motto. Like, don't end up in an alley trying to treat your measles with genuine H. McKee brand snake oil, water of life. It doesn't work. It smells awful, and it burns like hell. I'm just saying. That's the news from NCCDC. I'm Doug White, and I will see you next time on the Security Weekly News.